I drove for Lyft and Uber for 12 hours straight. And by hour 7, I started questioning why was I still out there? Most people think driving longer automatically means more money. That's not the full story. Here's what happens when your energy, your mindset, and your decision making when you stay on the road that long. It increases. And the reason that it increases is because from your first passenger that got in your back seat, you started making a lot of money. The conversations were wonderful. Even the conversations that you didn't have were quiet but constructive. You was able to focus on the road. There were no hiccups. And then it always helps when the weather is beautiful. Case in point, on a summer day, get into the whip, scoop up my passengers, and I already know it's going to be a good day because, you know, I always will wake up with the proper mindset, and then that would just follow suit. And by the seventh hour, I was questioning why I was still on the road. And it's not because of anything negative, it's not even because I was tired, it was because I was hungry. I went like 7 hours straight without eating. And the reason why, and those that are in rideshare or thinking about getting in rideshare, you all can comment below and tell me what you think. It's because momentum is a real thing, not just in sports and life in general. And on that day that I did 12 hours straight, I had a lot of momentum. I mean, I was having awesome rides with awesome payouts, terrific passengers, no matter where I was picking them up in the DFW area. If I went to the hood, I had a good passenger, made decent money, had wonderful conversations. If I went to the suburbs, same thing. People were full of energy, happy, tipping. Even the ones that didn't tip me, it was still a great experience. And especially when I went to the airport was always fun. And the reason that it was fun because sometimes it required patience. Anyone that lives in the DFW, you know, if you go to DFW airport, excuse me, you go to the hub, you have to wait in the queue, and the queue can vary. Uh, Usually it's quick, I will admit, but it's on your discretion on if you want to accept the ride because each ride, depending on the distance, it has a different pay, and that was all that I could ask for. When I went to the airport, I would go scoop the passenger up, get out, open the door for him or her, put their luggage in the back seat or in the trunk. Always gave them the option. And then from there, it was just a smooth journey. And the reason that that was is because most passengers getting off of the airport, they're tired. There's no other way to put it. Some came from outside of the country. Some came from California. Others came from Chicago. All different places in the world, right? But one thing that was certain was that the jet lag, the time zone difference, or just the whole experience of having to get to the airport 2 hours early, and then some airports are bigger than others. This is what I just know from traveling myself and mainly from what passengers told me when they got into my vehicle is that TSA in all the airports, it isn't the same in the sense like it's not equal workers. You know, some has less workers meaning longer wait time in line, especially for those that get there at the last minute. And so as I would take them to where they would need to be, Some of them were talkative. Enough of them just had their music playing, and enough of them just fell asleep. And that let me know that either two things: either A, they really loved my driving, or two, the jet lag was real and they were just tired. It was never no commotion, picking up clients from the airport, part of the 12-hour gig. It was all fantastic. And even the rides that could be deemed negative rides, which on most days I never really had any negative passengers, because I understood that with each passenger that got into my vehicle, if they were frustrated about something or they were mad, that was not directed to me. Now, depending on how they were feeling and the vibe that I got, once I spoke to him or her when they got into the back seat, that would let me know if they wanted to talk. That would let me know if they would want me to hush my mouth or they didn't want to hush their mouth. Because if they hush their mouth and after I speak and greet them, I'm not going to force a conversation. I would just get them to where they need to be. And that is always a terrific thing. And the reason that it's terrific is because it's almost like reading the room. You don't want to bother someone that doesn't want to be bothered. We all can relate to that. This is accurate because at the conclusion of the ride, I had a variety of different passengers uh, explain to me as I was pulling up to their hotel that they appreciated, me just letting them sleep, me letting them relax, me getting them there safe. And, you know, they also illustrated it with, how they tipped me and the stars they gave me, the ratings, and they would ask for my services when they would, need to be taken back to DFW Airport or Dallas Love Field. And it was just great. After I took that break at the seventh hour to give me something to eat, during that time, I was in a wonderful, wonderful headspace because I was executing, I was taking action, I was being of service of people. I was still knowing that the day is always of new adventures, even when you restart the clock. Meaning, you know, uh, it can be slow, it can be a lot of traffic. Traffic, the weather could change. It could be sunny, then go to pouring rain. You can have people that cancel, but my state of mind was that the next 5 hours were going to go like the first seven. And believe it or not, it definitely did. I didn't have any rude passengers. I didn't have anyone getting into my back seat, putting my life in danger. And that in itself is a win. The win is not always in the money you make. It could be the people that you meet. It can be the conversations that you hear. It can be what you as the driver share with the passengers. Because believe it or not, no matter who you're picking up, no matter their race, their religion, their height, everyone is going through something. Some people are in better moods than others. And my state of mind was that, hey, by the end of the ride, they're going to be in a positive headspace if they was in a negative headspace. And it can be something simplistic as me just getting them where they need to be, not having to ask them, like, well, do you need to be here at a certain time? Do you have a different route that you prefer to go? Because that's one reason a person is taking ride share, so they don't have to drive, meaning they don't have to necessarily, think where to turn, left turn here, right turn here. Is it going to be construction 3 miles up the road? So that's always a win. But when you drive 12 hours, what actually happened is that you just have a lot, at least for me personally, you have a lot of things reiterated to you. You have an opportunity to reach your goal. You have an opportunity to get close to reaching your goal. You continue to learn more about people, different dynamics, and not just the passengers in your car. You learn more about your city, the different spots that you're driving people to. You can drive to one spot, as I did, and they have construction going on, so much so that the main highway is cut off and the back road is cut off, but when you know the area, you know there's a third way that you can go. And when that occurs, passengers are surprised because you know the ones that aren't talking but they have their headphones on, they may doze off. Then they wake up and they see that there's traffic, and then they see you as a driver doing what you're supposed to be doing, finding another route. And let's say they were quiet. There were times when on the 12-hour shift, um, when the passenger would start talking because he would see that the highways block off, and he or she would say, you know, the highway's blocked off, and I take it you know what you're doing, which I didn't know what I was doing. That's why I was the driver. Not to be rude, but just being true. So I kind of always had a upper hand in that, and just knowing your routes, and take the pressure off of the passenger, because when the passenger gets inside the vehicle, there should be none. But driving 12 hours, it is taxing in a good way though. It definitely is taxing, and at the conclusion of it, you will be fatigued. You definitely will. And if you're not fatigued, then you can just hop on another app. So like if you have Lyft and you did your 12 hours, you can hop on Uber and do some more time. Not saying that you should, but it's the opportunity. It's the opportunity if you want to do that, and vice versa. If you drove for Uber, your 12 hours was done and you wasn't fatigued, then you can always, get on Uber and do some more time and make some more money. But I just wanted to bring you all this. You all continue to have a good day, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.